8th grade science fossils and geologic time test. Number 1. What can scientists infer from fossils? Mark only one oval. Organism's environment, possible climate change, organism structure, organism's activities, all of the above. Number 2. This type of fossil gives evidence of an organism's activity, for example, footprints. Mark only one oval. Carbon film, cast, trace fossil. Number 3. A carbon film fossil of a fish or a plant is created by, mark only one oval. Replacing organisms with minerals, exposure to heat and pressure that forces gases and liquids out of the organism's tissues, tracks left behind in soft sediment. Question number 4. An example of a fossil that is preserved remains is, mark only one oval. A mammoth preserved in ice for thousands of years, the impression of a rock, the impression of a plant in a rock, or a footprint of an ancient reptile. Question number 5. What type of fossil preservation is an impression in a rock left by an ancient organism? Mark only one oval. Mineral replacement, mold, carbon film. Number 6. The preserved remains or evidence of ancient living things is a or an catastrophism, form of absolute dating, fossil, Number 7. The principle of uniformitarianism states that conditions and organisms on Earth change in quick, violent events. Geologic processes that occur today are similar to those that have occurred in the past. The Earth has had the same climate for millions of years. Number 8. What kind of dating gives paleontologists an exact age of a rock using radioactive decay in the rocks? Absolute, relative, or online? Number 9. The principle of superposition states that the youngest rock layers are on the top. True or false? Number 10. Determining the order of events and the relative age of rocks by studying the position of rocks in a sequence is called relative dating, carbon dating, speed dating. Use the next image to answer questions 12 and 13. Youngest to oldest. Number 11. Which of these rocks is the oldest? The rocks in layer A, C, or E? Number 12. Which of these rocks is the youngest? The rocks in layers B, C, or D? Number 13. As paleontologists look at rock layers from top to bottom, they expect ancient organisms to be complex at the bottom and simple at the top. or be complex at the top and simple at the bottom? Last question for part 1. If the history of the Earth were a school day, during what hour would humans and dinosaurs exist? First, fourth, lunch, or seventh? Mark only one oval. First hour, fourth hour, lunchtime, or seventh hour? Now, the written part, part 2. Explain what a paleontologist might infer if he or she found an abundant amount of fossils of sea creatures in Missouri. Number 2. Explain what a paleontologist might infer if he or she found a fossil of a tropical plant in Antarctica. Number 3. Explain what a paleontologist might infer if he or she found many sets of dinosaur footprints in the same rocks in the same area. Hint, these footprints are of the same type of dinosaur. Number 4. Use the diagram on the right to put the rock layers A, B, C, D, and E in the order from youngest to oldest. Youngest to oldest. So write the letters in. Number 5. What is the difference between relative dating and absolute dating? Number 6. Use the diagram and the fossil key to answer questions 6 and 7. Which type of fossil is the oldest in this record? The fern plant, the fish, the amphibian, the trilobite. And how do you know? Number 7. Put these fossil organisms in order from oldest to youngest. Trilobite, amphibian, fish, and fern plant. So which one would be the oldest? And which would be the youngest, according to this picture? Last but not least, bonus. I'm giving you an example. 1,250 equals 1.25 times 10 to the third power. Express or write 4,803,000,000 in scientific notation using this example. And then number 2, take this number, 6.399 times 10 to the negative 6th, and write it in standard form. Again, it's bonus.